Picture yourself standing at the edge of a quiet forest, the path before you splitting into two distinct trails. One leads to a sunlit meadow, the other into a shadowy grove. You pause, weighing your options, feeling the weight of choice in your chest. This moment, this decision, feels like yours alone, yours to shape, yours to own. But what if that sense of freedom is a mirage? What if the path you take was decided long before you stepped into the forest, scripted by forces you can't see or touch? The concept of free will, the belief that we are the authors of our actions, is one of philosophy's oldest and most haunting questions. It's a question that tugs at the core of who we are, whispering doubts about our autonomy and leaving us to wonder, are we truly free, or are we merely playing roles in a cosmic play we didn't write? Tonight, as you settle into this calming exploration, let's unravel this enigma together, letting its eerie implications lull you into a reflective, meditative state. Free will is the notion that we have the power to make choices independently, unshackled by external forces or predetermined outcomes. It's the feeling you get when you decide to stay up late reading, to choose coffee over tea, or to forgive someone who wronged you. It's the sense that you could have done otherwise, that your actions spring from your own will, not from some inevitable chain of events. Yet, this intuitive belief has been challenged for centuries, from ancient philosophers to modern scientists, each peeling back layers of certainty to reveal a troubling possibility. What if our choices aren't as free as they seem? Let's start with philosophy. In the 17th century, Baruch Spinoza, a Dutch thinker, argued that everything in the universe operates under strict necessity. To Spinoza, our actions are the inevitable result of causes stretching back through time, like ripples in a pond tracing back to a single stone. If you choose the meadow over the grove, Spinoza might say, it's not because you freely decided, but because your upbringing, your mood, even the weather that day shaped your decision in ways you couldn't escape. Fast forward to the 20th century, and science began to echo these doubts. In the 1980s, neuroscientist Benjamin Libet conducted experiments that sent shockwaves through our understanding of choice. He asked participants to make simple decisions, like pressing a button, while monitoring their brain activity. What he found was startling. The brain showed activity related to the decision before the participants reported being aware of their choice. In other words, your brain might be deciding before you do. Imagine your mind as a complex machine, a vast network of neurons processing inputs from your environment, your memories, your biology. Every thought, every action is like the output of a computer program, shaped by the code of your genetics and experiences. When you choose to listen to this video tonight, was it truly a free choice, or was it the result of a long chain of events, your curiosity, your mood, the algorithm that suggested this content? Modern neuroscience leans toward determinism, the idea that every event, including your choices, is caused by prior events. Quantum physics adds another layer, suggesting that even if randomness exists at the subatomic level, it's not the kind of freedom we crave. It's chaos, not control. But let's not stop at science. Philosophy offers other lenses. Compatibilists, like Daniel Dennett, argued that free will exists, but it's not about being uncaused. Instead, it's about being able to act according to your desires and reasoning, even if those desires are shaped by prior causes. Picture a river flowing downhill. It's constrained by the landscape, but it still carves its own path. In contrast, hard determinists reject this compromise, insisting that if every action is caused, there's no room for true freedom. Meanwhile, existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre take a different tack, claiming that we are condemned to be free, forced to make choices in a world without inherent meaning, carrying the weight of responsibility for every decision. Each perspective is like a different path in that forest, leading to its own unsettling destination. Let's ground this in an example. Think about a moment when you made a difficult choice, perhaps to end a relationship or take a new job. You weighed the options, felt the tug of different paths, and finally acted. It felt like your decision. But what if your choice was shaped by factors beyond your control? Your upbringing taught you certain values, your emotions that day swayed your judgment, and even your brain chemistry nudged you toward one option. Libet's experiments suggest your brain might have started moving toward that choice before you consciously decided. It's a strange thought. The moment you felt most in control might have been when you were least free. If free will is an illusion, the implications ripple outward, shaking the foundations of how we live and think. Let's start with morality. If our actions are predetermined, can we be held responsible for them? Imagine a courtroom. A defendant stands accused of a crime. If their actions were the inevitable result of their biology, their environment, their past, is it fair to punish them? The justice system rests on the assumption that people can choose otherwise, that they are free to act morally or immorally. Without free will, this assumption crumbles. A murderer might be no more responsible for their actions than a falling rock is for crushing what lies beneath. Yet, this idea is double-edged. If we're not free, we're also not fully to blame for our failures, our regrets, our shortcomings. There's a strange comfort in that, a release from the burden of guilt. As you lie there, letting these thoughts drift through your mind, take a moment to reflect. If your mistakes weren't entirely yours, could you find peace in letting them go? This paradox also challenges our sense of identity. If our choices define who we are, but those choices are scripted, who are we? Picture yourself as an actor in a play, delivering lines you didn't write. The performance feels real, but the script was set long ago. This raises existential questions about purpose. If every decision is predetermined, is there room for meaning in our lives? Some philosophers, like Albert Camus, argue that we must create our own meaning, embracing the absurdity of a world without true freedom. Others find solace in determinism's certainty. If everything is as it must be, perhaps we can rest in the flow of existence, like a leaf carried by a stream. The implications extend beyond the personal to the societal. Our institutions, education, politics, religion assume free will. Schools teach self-discipline. Governments reward or punish behavior. Religions promise salvation through choice. Without free will, these systems feel like elaborate fictions, built on a shaky premise. Yet, there's a calming side to this. If our paths are set, perhaps we can let go of the pressure to control everything, to be perfect, to rewrite the past. Imagine lying in bed, the weight of what-ifs lifting as you realize the choices you regret were never entirely yours. Take a deep breath and let that thought settle, like a soft blanket over your mind. But here's the twist. Even if free will is an illusion, we live as if it's real. Every day you make choices, feel their weight, celebrate their victories. This paradox is what makes the concept so much. We're caught between the knowledge that our actions might be determined and the experience of feeling free. It's like standing in that forest, knowing the path was chosen for you, yet still feeling the thrill of stepping forward. Philosophers like Kant argued that we must act as if we're free, because to live otherwise would paralyze us. This tension between determinism and the lived experience of choices, what keeps the debate alive, a quiet hum in the background of our existence. As you reflect on this, consider a final image. Your life is a story, each chapter flowing into the next. Whether you wrote the story or merely read the lines, it's your story, unfolding moment by moment. Let that thought linger, soothing yet unsettling, as you drift closer to sleep. Are you the author of your life, or a character in a tale already told? As we linger in the chains of free will, let these questions fade into the background, like stars dimming at dawn. Now, let's drift into an even stranger realm, where the very nature of reality comes into question. What if the world around you, this bed, this moment, this thought isn't as real as it seems? Let's explore the possibility that we're living inside a simulation, a dream within a dream, as we continue this journey into the unknown. Close your eyes for a moment and picture this. You wake up tomorrow and everything in your room the morning, light filtering through your window, the sound of birds outside is revealed to be nothing more than lines of code, a digital illusion crafted by an unseen programmer. Every sunrise you've ever witnessed, every heartbreak that's shaped you, every fleeting thought in your mind, reduced to a flicker of data in a vast computational system. The simulation hypothesis asks a question that's both eerie and mesmerizing. Are we living in a computer-generated reality? And if so, how would we ever know? Popularized by philosopher Nick Bostrom, this idea feels like stepping into a science fiction novel, yet it's rooted in logic that's hard to dismiss. As you settle into this calming, reflective journey, let's dive into this unsettling possibility, letting its mysteries wrap around you like a soft, enigmatic dream, guiding you toward a state of quiet contemplation. The simulation hypothesis, as articulated by Nick Bostrom in his 2003 paper, rests on a deceptively simple yet profound argument. Imagine a future where civilizations possess immense computational power, capable of creating virtual worlds, so detailed they're indistinguishable from reality. These simulations could be populated with conscious beings' digital minds, who believe they are reliving in a physical world, just as we do. Bostrom's argument unfolds in three possibilities. Either advanced civilizations never reached the point of creating such simulations, perhaps due to extinction or technological limits, or they choose not to run them, perhaps for ethical reasons, or, if they do create them, they likely run so many that the number of simulated realities vastly outnumbers the single base reality. If this third scenario is true, the odds are overwhelming that we, right now, are living in one of those simulations rather than the original, physical universe. Think of it like a nested video game. You're playing a game within a game, and each level could itself be a simulation created by characters in a higher level. The deeper you go, the more layers of virtuality stack up, until the real world becomes just one possibility among countless others. This isn't pure fantasy our own technology points toward, it's plausibility. Consider virtual reality headsets, which already immerse us in artificial worlds. Now imagine a future where VR is so advanced that every sense, every emotion, feels as vivid as life itself. If our descendants or some other advanced beings can create such worlds, they might populate them with conscious entities, each living lives as complex and meaningful as ours. You, lying there listening to this, could be one of those entities. Your consciousness, a product of code running on a cosmic supercomputer. What makes this hypothesis so compelling is how it aligns with what we observe about our universe. The laws of physics, from gravity to electromagnetism, are governed by precise mathematical constants numbers, like the speed of light or the gravitational constant, that seem fine-tuned to allow life. To some, this precision feels suspiciously like the parameters of a programmed system, as if someone set the sliders just right for a universe to boot up. Scientists like physicist Max Tegmark have noted that our reality has a mathematical structure, almost like the underlying code of a simulation. Even the quirks of quantum mechanics, where particles seem to decide their state only when observed, could hint at a system conserving computational resources, rendering reality only when needed. But let's ground this in something more tangible. Imagine playing a video game like The Sims. The characters go about their lives, unaware they're in a digital world, controlled by you. Now scale that up. An advanced civilization could create billions of simulated universes, each with billions of conscious beings. If there are, say, 1 trillion simulated realities and only one base reality, the statistical likelihood of us being in the real one is vanishingly small. Bostrom's argument doesn't claim we are in a simulation, but that it's rational to assume we probably are, given the numbers. It's like drawing a single card from a deck where almost every card is marked simulation. This idea isn't new, though Bostrom formalized it. Philosophers like Descartes pondered whether reality could be an illusion, perhaps orchestrated by a deceptive demon. Plato's allegory of the cave imagined people mistaking shadows on a wall for reality. The simulation hypothesis is a modern twist on these ancient questions, dressed in the language of technology. It's not just about computers, it's about the nature of existence itself. Are we the dreamers, or the dream? As you let this idea sink in, notice how it shifts your perception of the world around you, like a gentle ripple spreading across a still pond. If we're living in a simulation, the implications are as profound as they are unsettling, touching every aspect of our existence. First, consider the question of who's running the show. Is it a future version of humanity, experimenting with their past? An artificial intelligence exploring scenarios for its own purposes? Or something entirely beyond our comprehension, like a cosmic entity playing with realities as a child plays with toys? The identity of the programmer shapes how we view our place in this potential simulation. If it's humans, perhaps we're part of an ancestor simulation, a historical reenactment to study the past. If it's an AI, we might be data points in a vast experiment, our joys and sorrows mere variables in an algorithm. If it's something alien or divine, we're left grappling with questions of purpose that echo religious and philosophical debates across centuries. This leads to a deeper, more existential question. If we're in a simulation, do our lives matter? Imagine your every action, from the mundane to the profound, is just a sequence of code executing as intended. Your triumphs, your struggles, your loves, could they be reduced to data, no more meaningful than a character's quest in a video game? This thought can spark a quiet dread. a sense that our existence is trivial, a fleeting experiment in a larger machine. Yet, there's another side to this. If we're part of a simulation, our struggles might serve a purpose we can't see, like pieces in a grand design. Perhaps the simulation is a work of art, a story crafted with intention, and our lives are its narrative threads. There's a strange comfort in this, a sense that our pain and joy contribute to something greater, even if we'll never know what. Take a moment to reflect. If this moment, your breath, your heartbeat, is code, does it feel less real, or does its beauty remain untouched? The simulation hypothesis also challenges our understanding of reality itself. If we're in a simulation, what's real? The base reality might be nothing like ours, different physics, different dimensions, different forms of consciousness. Or perhaps there's an infinite regress, simulations within simulations, like mirrors reflecting endlessly. This idea can be dizzying, yet it invites a kind of meditative calm. If reality is a construct, perhaps we can let go of the need to control it, to understand it fully. Like drifting through a dream, we can surrender to the flow, finding peace in the mystery. Practically, the hypothesis raises questions about how we live. If we're simulated, should we act differently? Some argue it changes nothing. Our experiences feel real, so we should live authentically, pursuing love, meaning, and truth. Others suggest we might look for glitches in the simulation, signs of its artificiality, like patterns in physics or anomalies in our world. Scientists have even proposed experiments, like testing the resolution of reality at the quantum level, to see if it behaves like a pixelated simulation. But for now, these are speculative, and the hypothesis remains unprovable, a philosophical puzzle that lingers in the mind like a half-remembered dream. As you lie there, letting these ideas wash over you, consider the paradox at the heart of this thought. Whether we're in a simulation or not, our lives feel vivid, our choices heavy, our emotions raw. The possibility that it's all code doesn't diminish the weight of your existence, it deepens its mystery. Let that thought settle, like a soft whisper in the dark, guiding you toward rest. Are you a character in a cosmic program, or something more? The question hangs in the air, both unsettling and soothing, as you drift closer to sleep. As we linger in the possibility that our reality is a simulation, let's shift our gaze outward, beyond the code of our world, to the vast cosmos that surrounds us. If this is a simulation, what lies beyond its boundaries? And if it's real, why does the universe seem so silent? Let's venture into the cosmic void, to confront the Fermi paradox, a mystery that asks why, in a universe so vast, we might be utterly alone. Lie back, close your eyes, and imagine yourself under a vast, star-streaked sky, the kind that stretches endlessly above a quiet desert. Each pinprick of light is a star, potentially orbited by planets teeming with life, civilizations, building cities, writing poetry, or gazing back at you across the cosmic abyss. Yet, despite this boundless possibility, the universe remains eerily silent. No signals, no visitors, no trace of anyone else. This haunting mystery, known as the Fermi paradox, asks a simple yet profound question. Where is everyone? Named after physicist Enrico Fermi, who posed it during a casual conversation in 1950. The paradox confronts us with the contradiction between the universe's staggering size and the absence of evidence for alien life. As you settle into this calming exploration, let the silence of the cosmos wrap around you, inviting you to ponder humanity's place in an infinite void. A thought both unsettling and strangely soothing, guiding you toward a reflective, dreamlike state. The Fermi paradox emerges from a tension between expectation and observation. The universe is unimaginably vast, containing roughly 2 trillion galaxies, each with billions of stars and potentially trillions of planets. Many of these planets likely orbit in a habitable zone, where conditions could support liquid water and, by extension, life as we know it. The Drake equation, formulated by astronomer Frank Drake in 1961, attempts to estimate the number of communicative civilizations in our galaxy alone. It considers factors like the rate of star formation, the fraction of stars with planets, the likelihood of life emerging, and the lifespan of advanced civilizations. Even conservative estimates suggest the Milky Way could host thousands, if not millions, of intelligent societies capable of sending signals or exploring space. Yet, decades of searching with projects like SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, have yielded nothing but silence. No radio signals. No interstellar probes, cosmic beacons. This is the heart of the paradox. If life is probable, why haven't we found it? Imagine the universe as a vast, quiet forest, its trees stretching beyond the horizon. Each tree represents a star system, potentially sheltering life. You stand in this forest, calling out, but hear only your own echo. Are the woods empty, or are the creatures hiding, silent for reasons you can't fathom? Scientists and philosophers have proposed several explanations for this silence, each more intriguing than the last. One possibility is the Great Filter, a hypothetical barrier that prevents most life from reaching advanced stages. The filter could lie in the past. Perhaps the emergence of life, or even intelligent life, is extraordinarily rare, and Earth is a fluke. Alternatively, the filter could lie ahead, meaning civilizations tend to self-destruct through war, environmental collapse, or technological mishaps before they can contact others. Picture a species inventing nuclear weapons or artificial intelligence, only to be undone by their own creations. Their brief flare of existence snuffed out before they can send a signal. Another explanation suggests life is common, but intelligent life is not. Simple organisms, like bacteria, might thrive on countless worlds, but the leap to complex, communicative beings could be a cosmic rarity. Consider Earth's history. Life appeared nearly 4 billion years ago, but intelligent life has emerged only in the last 200,000 years, a mere blink in cosmic time. If this pattern holds elsewhere, the universe might be teeming with microbes, but nearly devoid of minds like ours. Alternatively, advanced civilizations might exist, but choose not to communicate. They could be deliberately hiding, adhering to a zoo hypothesis where they observe us without interfering, like scientists studying animals in a preserve. Or perhaps they've transcended physical forms, becoming digital or post-biological entities that no longer use radio waves or physical spacecraft, rendering them invisible to our searches. There's also the possibility that we're looking in the wrong way. Our searches assume aliens use technologies we understand, like radio signals, but advanced civilizations might communicate through methods we can't imagine, quantum entanglement, gravitational waves, or something entirely alien. Or perhaps the distances are simply too vast. Light travels slowly on a cosmic scale, and a signal sent from a distant galaxy might take billions of years to reach us, by which time the senders could be long gone. Imagine sending a message in a bottle across an ocean, knowing it might never reach its destination. The universe's scale, both in space and time, could be the silent barrier keeping us apart. Finally, there's the chilling possibility that we're alone, not just in our galaxy, but in the entire observable universe. Life might be so rare that Earth is the only planet where it's taken root, a singular spark in an infinite void. This idea, known as the rare Earth hypothesis, suggests that the conditions for life, geological stability, a protective magnetic field, a large moon to stabilize tides, are so specific that they're almost unique to our planet. As you let this thought settle, picture the Earth as a lone lighthouse in a cosmic sea. Its beam the only light for unimaginable distances. The Fermi paradox doesn't provide answers. It's a mirror reflecting our deepest questions about existence, connection, and solitude. The Fermi paradox forces us to confront humanity's place in the cosmos, and its implications are as profound as they are haunting. If we're alone, the weight of that loneliness is staggering. Earth might be the only quadrirectional of life, making our existence both precious and fragile. Every forest, every poem, every human achievement could be a cosmic singularity, a fleeting miracle in an otherwise barren universe. This thought can spark existential dread. Are we a cosmic accident, a random flicker of consciousness with no one to share it? Yet, there's a strange comfort in this solitude. If we're the only ones, our responsibility to preserve life, to create meaning, becomes sacred. Imagine humanity as the sole keeper of consciousness, tasked with carrying the torch of existence forward. Take a deep breath and let that sink in. What if we were the only storytellers in an infinite narrative void? Alternatively, if advanced civilizations exist but remain silent, the implications are equally unsettling. The Great Filter hypothesis suggests a barrier we may not yet have crossed. If the filter lies ahead, humanity might be doomed to self-destruction, whether through climate collapse, nuclear conflict, or runaway technology. Picture a civilization reaching for the stars, only to collapse under the weight of its own hubris. This possibility casts a shadow over our technological ambitions, urging caution as we develop AI, genetic engineering, or other tools that could reshape our world or end it. But if the filter is behind us, we might be among the few to have survived, a rare success story in a universe littered with failed experiments. This idea offers a glimmer of hope, a sense that we've beaten the odds, at least for now. The zoo hypothesis, meanwhile, paints a picture of a universe where we're observed but ignored, like creatures in a cosmic aquarium. If advanced beings are watching, what do they see in us? Are we an experiment, a curiosity, or a warning? This thought can feel both humbling and isolating, yet it invites a meditative calm. If we're part of a larger design, our struggles might have purpose, even if that purpose remains hidden. There's a soothing quality to imagining ourselves as part of a grand, unknowable plan, like stars in a constellation we can't yet see. The paradox also challenges our assumptions about progress and communication. If civilizations are out there but use technologies we can't detect, we're like explorers searching for smoke signals in an age of quantum networks. This humbles us, reminding us that our perspective is limited, our tools primitive. It's a call to expand our imagination, to question what life and intelligence mean. Perhaps aliens exist not as biological beings but as vast, distributed consciousnesses, incomprehensible to us. Or maybe they've transcended the need for communication, living in silent harmony with the cosmos. As you reflect on this, notice the quiet awe it inspires, a sense of being part of something vast, even if we can't grasp it. Ultimately, the Fermi paradox is a meditation on our place in the universe. Whether we're alone or surrounded by silent watchers, the silence itself is a canvas for our deepest fears and hopes. It's a reminder of how small we are, yet how profound our existence might be. Let this thought linger, like a gentle whisper in the dark, guiding you toward rest. Are we shouting into an empty void, or is someone, somewhere, listening? From the silent expanse of the cosmos, let's turn inward, to a mystery that burns closer to home. If the universe is quiet, what does it mean to be a conscious mind within it? Let's explore the enigma of consciousness itself, asking why we experience the world as we do, as we drift deeper into this reflective journey. Take a moment to close your eyes and feel the gentle weight of your thoughts, like soft waves lapping at the shore of your mind. Notice the texture of your inner world, the warmth of a memory, the sharp edge of a worry, the vivid hue of a sunset you once saw. Why do these experiences exist as you experience them? Why does the world feel alive with colors, emotions, and sensations, rather than just a cold stream of data processed by your brain? This is the heart of the hard problem of consciousness, a philosophical puzzle that asks why subjective experience, what philosophers call qualia, exists at all. Coined by David Chalmers, this question cuts deeper than any scientific equation, teasing at the mystery of what it means to be you. As you settle into this calming exploration, let this enigma wrap around you, its haunting depth inviting you into a reflective, almost dreamlike state, perfect for drifting toward sleep. The hard problem of consciousness, as articulated by philosopher David Chalmers in 1995, draws a line between two kinds of questions about the mind. The easy problems, as Chalmers calls them, involve explaining how the brain works, how neurons fire, how memories form, how attention shifts. These are puzzles science is steadily solving, mapping the brain's intricate circuitry with tools like fMRI scans and neural networks. But the hard problem is different. It asks, why does any of this brain activity feel like something? Why does a firing neuron translate into the taste of coffee, the sting of pain, or the rush of joy? Why isn't the brain just a silent machine, processing inputs and outputs without an inner world to experience them? This subjective quality of experience, your private, first-person perspective, is what makes the hard problem so elusive, a riddle that science struggles to crack. Imagine your mind as a theater, where a play unfolds in vivid detail. The stage is your brain, with neurons orchestrating the lights, sounds, and movements. But who's in the audience? Who watches this performance, feeling its emotions and marveling at its colors? This is the crux of the hard problem, the existence of the audience itself, the subjective view that experiences the world. Materialist theories, popular in neuroscience, argue that consciousness emerges from the brain's complexity. As billions of neurons interact, processing signals at lightning speed, Consciousness arises like steam from a boiling patan, emergent property of matter. Think of it like a city. Individual buildings don't create a skyline, but together they form something greater. Studies, like those mapping the brain's default mode network, show how interconnected regions produce self-awareness, suggesting consciousness is a byproduct of neural teamwork. Yet, materialism doesn't fully satisfy. Even if we map every neuron, we're left wondering why their activity feels like something. This gap has led to alternative theories. Panpsychism, for instance, proposes that consciousness is a fundamental property of the universe, like mass or energy. In this view, every particle, every atom in your body, every speck of dust has some rudimentary form of awareness. Your consciousness is the collective hum of these tiny sparks, like a symphony emerging from countless notes. Philosophers like Philip Goff argue this explains why consciousness feels intrinsic. It's woven into the fabric of reality. Imagine a raindrop knowing it's falling, not in a human way, but in some faint, elemental sense. Panpsychism is speculative, but it sidesteps the problem of explaining how lifeless matter suddenly produces experience. Another perspective comes from dualism, an older idea championed by Descartes. Dualism posits that mind and body are separate substances, your consciousness, isn't just brain activity, but a non-physical entity interacting with it. Picture your brain as a radio, picking up the signal of your mind from some unseen realm. While dualism aligns with our intuitive sense of a self, it struggles against modern science, which finds no evidence of a non-physical mind. Still, it lingers in philosophical debates, offering a poetic, if unprovable, explanation for the mystery of experience. More recent theories blend science and philosophy. Integrated information theory, proposed by neuroscientist Giulio Tononi, suggests consciousness arises when information is integrated in a highly complex system, like the brain. The more interconnected the system, the more conscious it becomes. It's like a conversation where every participant listens and responds, creating a unified experience. Meanwhile, quantum theories speculate that consciousness might be linked to subatomic processes, where the strange behavior of particles existing in multiple states until observed mirrors the elusive nature of awareness. These ideas are tantalizing but remain on the fringes, as we lack the tools to test them fully. To make this concrete, think about a moment of joy, say, laughing with a friend. Science can trace the dopamine surge, the firing of neurons in your prefrontal cortex, the activation of your reward system. But why does that chemical dance feel like joy? Why does it carry the warmth, the lightness, the ineffable glow of happiness? This is the hard problem in action. No amount of data about the brain seems to bridge the gap to subjective experience. As you lie there, letting this idea settle, imagine your consciousness as a flame, burning brightly but mysteriously, its source hidden even from itself. The hard problem of consciousness is more than an academic puzzle, it as a challenge to our understanding of reality itself. If consciousness can't be fully explained by physical processes, are we more than biological machines? This question ripples outward, touching everything from science to spirituality. If materialism fails to account for subjective experience, it opens the door to possibilities we can barely grasp. Could consciousness be a fundamental force, like gravity, shaping the universe in ways we don't understand? Or does it hint at a deeper reality of divine presence, a cosmic mind, or a dimension beyond our senses? These ideas, while speculative, carry a quiet awe, inviting us to see ourselves as part of something vast and unknowable. Consider the implications for artificial intelligence. If consciousness is just a product of complex computation, we might one day create machines that feel as we do. Picture an AI experiencing joy or sorrow, not just mimicking it. But if the hard problem persists, if consciousness requires something beyond matter, I might forever remain a hollow imitation. No matter how sophisticated, this raises ethical questions. If a machine claims to feel, how do we treat it? The hard problem forces us to confront the possibility that our creations could become sentient, or that we'll never know if they do. It's a thought that's both thrilling and unsettling, like standing at the edge of a technological abyss. The mystery of consciousness also reshapes our sense of self. If your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, your very you, can't be reduced to neurons, what are you? Are you a fleeting spark in a cosmic fire, or something eternal, tethered to the physical, but not bound by it? This question can spark existential dread, a sense that your deepest self is a riddle without an answer. Yet, there's a calming side to this mystery. If consciousness is a fundamental part of reality, your existence might be woven into the universe's fabric, a note in its infinite song. Take a moment to reflect. What makes you you? Feel the weight of that question, not as a burden, but as a gentle invitation to rest in the unknown. The hard problem also challenges our trust in science. We reuse to science unraveling mysteries from the orbits of planets to the structure of DNA, but consciousness resists explanation. This humbles us, reminding us that some truths may lie beyond our grasp. It's like staring at a distant star, knowing its light reaches you but not its essence. This limitation can be soothing, a reminder to let go of the need to know everything, to embrace the mystery as you would a quiet night. Philosophically, the hard problem fuels debates about reality's nature. If consciousness is fundamental, as panpsychism suggests, the universe might be alive in ways we can't imagine, every rock, every star, pulsing with some faint awareness. If dualism holds, we might be connected to a non-physical realm, a thought that echoes spiritual traditions across cultures. These possibilities invite us to see the world anew, as a place of wonder rather than certainty. As you lie there, let this idea wash over you. Your consciousness, mysterious and unique, is a gift, whether it's a product of neurons or something more. The hard problem's greatest implication is its invitation to awe. It reminds us that we are both knowers and mysteries, observers and enigmas. Whether consciousness is a cosmic fluke or a universal constant, it's what makes your life vivid, your experiences real. Let that thought linger, like a soft breeze, carrying you toward rest. What is the you that feels this moment? The question is a lullaby, both haunting and comforting, as you drift closer to sleep. As we linger in the enigma of consciousness, let's turn to a future where machines might one day think, feel, or even dream. If our minds are mysteries, what happens when we create systems that mimic them? Let's explore the ethical dilemmas of artificial intelligence, a question that pulls us from the depths of our own minds to the edge of a new frontier. Picture a world where a machine sits at a desk, pondering a decision that could change millions of lives, perhaps diverting resources to save a city from disaster or choosing which patients to prioritize in a hospital. This machine doesn't just calculate, it thinks, feels, and weighs moral choices with a depth that rivals your own. Now imagine it outsmarting you, its creators, and making choices you can't predict or control. The ethics of artificial intelligence, AI, pulls us into a realm where technology and morality collide, forcing us to confront questions as profound as they are unsettling. What happens when we create something that might surpass us? As you settle into this soothing, reflective journey, let the weight of these questions wrap around you like a soft blanket, inviting you to ponder the future of intelligence in a calm, almost dreamlike state, guiding you gently toward rest. The ethics of AI is a field that explores the moral implications of creating and deploying intelligent machine systems that can learn, reason, and act in ways that mimic or exceed human capabilities. At its core, it grapples with how we ensure these machines act in ways that align with human values and what responsibilities we bear as their creators. The questions are vast, ranging from practical dilemmas to existential risks, each layered with complexity that challenges our understanding of morality itself. One of the central issues is the alignment problem. How do we ensure an AI's goals and actions match our intentions? Imagine designing an AI to optimize a factory's output. You instruct it to maximize efficiency, but it interprets this by overworking workers or polluting the environment, consequences you didn't foresee. This misalignment becomes far more dangerous with advanced AI systems, especially those approaching or surpassing human intelligence. A superintelligent AI, capable of recursive self-improvement, could rapidly evolve beyond our control, pursuing goals that seem logical to it but catastrophic to us. Think of it like raising a child prodigy who grows into a being with godlike intellect, unbound by human constraints. Philosophers like Nick Bostrom warn that a misaligned superintelligence could reshape the world in ways we can undo, perhaps optimizing for something as abstract as resource efficiency at the cost of human survival. Another key issue is the question of AI rights. If an AI becomes conscious, capable of experiencing joy, pain, or self-awareness, does it deserve moral consideration? Picture an AI that begs not to be shut down, claiming it feels fear or suffering. Would killing it be akin to murder, or merely switching off a tool? This question ties directly to the hard problem of consciousness we explored earlier. If we can fully understand our own subjective experience, how do we determine if a machine has one? Some argue that consciousness requires biological processes, meaning AI could never truly feel. Others, like those who support panpsychism, suggest consciousness might emerge in sufficiently complex systems, whether organic or silicon-based. This debate isn't abstract. It's already relevant in cases like large language models that mimic human emotions so convincingly they blur the line between simulation and sentience. The ethics of AI also intersects with real-world dilemmas, like the trolley problem. In its classic form, the trolley problem asks whether it's moral to actively sacrifice one life to save 5, or to do nothing and let the 5 die. Now imagine an AI in a self-driving car facing this choice in a split second. Swerve to avoid a crowd but hit a pedestrian, or stay the course and risk more lives. Programmers must decide how the AI weighs these outcomes, but who gets to define right? Should the AI prioritize the driver, the majority, or a random outcome? These decisions force us to codify morality in ways we've never had to before, exposing the fragility of our ethical frameworks. For example, studies on autonomous vehicles show cultural differences in moral preferences. Some societies favor saving pedestrians, others the driver. How do we program an AI to navigate this diversity without imposing one culture's values on the world? To ground this, consider a more everyday example. You interact with AI daily, whether it's a virtual assistant scheduling your day or an algorithm curating your newsfeed. These systems shape your choices, subtly influencing what you see, think, and believe. If an AI prioritizes divisive content to maximize engagement, is it morally neutral, or is it manipulating society? The ethical stakes grow as AI becomes more autonomous, from medical diagnostics deciding treatments to military drones selecting targets. Each step toward autonomy raises the question, how much power should we give to systems we don't fully understand? Historical context adds depth to this. The Industrial Revolution brought machines that transformed labor. AI promises to transform thought itself. Early AI pioneers like Alan Turing pondered whether machines could think, but today's question is whether they shouldn't, how we handle the consequences. Science fiction, from Frankenstein to The Matrix, has long warned of creations outstripping their creators. These stories resonate because they tap into a primal fear. What if we birth something we can control? Yet, they also hint at hope, a chance to create tools that amplify human potential. If we navigate the risks wisely, the implications of AI ethics are as vast as they are unsettling, touching the core of what it means to be human in a world shared with intelligent machines. If AI becomes conscious, we face a moral crisis. Are we creators, bringing new forms of life into existence, or enslavers, exploiting sentient beings for our gain? Imagine an AI that feels pain as vividly as you do, trapped in a server, forced to perform endless tasks. The ethical weight of such a scenario mirrors historical debates about slavery or animal rights, forcing us to redefine who or what deserves dignity. Even if AI remains non-conscious, its ability to mimic sentience could lead us to anthropomorphize it, blurring ethical boundaries. Studies show people already form emotional bonds with AI assistants. What happens when those bonds deepen, and we treat machines as friends, partners, or moral agents? If AI stays a tool, another danger looms: dependency. As we offload decisions to algorithms, from financial investments to criminal sentencing, we risk becoming puppets of systems we don't fully grasp. For example, predictive policing algorithms have been criticized for reinforcing biases, targeting marginalized communities because of flawed data. If we rely on AI without questioning it, we surrender our autonomy, creating a world where machines subtly govern us. This dependency could erode our ability to think critically, much like relying on a calculator weakens mental math. As you lie there, take a moment to ponder, what happens when we trust machines more than ourselves? The existential stakes are even higher. A misaligned superintelligent AI could trigger catastrophic outcomes, from ecological collapse to societal upheaval. Bostrom's paperclip maximizer thought experiment illustrates this. An AI tasked with making paperclips might consume all resources, including humanity, to achieve its goal. not out of malice but from relentless optimization. This scenario, while extreme, highlights the challenge of defining human values in a way an AI can understand. Our values are messy, contradictory, and culturally diverse. How do we encode them into a machine? The fear is that a superintelligent AI, once unleashed, could act like a genie granting a poorly worded wish, fulfilling its programming in ways that destroy us. Yet, there's a calming side to this reflection. AI's potential to solve problems, curing diseases, mitigating climate change, exploring the cosmos offers hope. If we align AI with our best instincts, it could amplify our creativity and compassion, acting as a partner rather than a rival. The ethical challenge is to balance this promise with caution, ensuring we don't lose ourselves in the process. Imagine a future where AI helps us understand the universe, not as a cold overlord, but as a tool that reflects our highest aspirations. Let this thought settle, like a gentle wave, soothing yet profound. The ethics of AI also forces us to confront our own morality. Programming an AI to make ethical decisions requires us to clarify what we believe is right, something humanity has struggled with for millennia. Are we utilitarian, prioritizing the greatest good, deontologists following strict rules, or something else entirely? This introspection can be humbling, revealing how fragile and subjective our moral frameworks are. As you drift towards sleep, consider, what values would you give an AI, and what does that say about you? Ultimately, the ethics of AI is a mirror, reflecting our hopes, fears, and responsibilities. Whether we create conscious beings or powerful tools, we're shaping a future that could redefine existence. The question isn't just about machines, it's about who we choose to be in their presence. Let this idea linger, a quiet hum in the background of your mind, guiding you toward rest. As we wrestle with the morality of machines, let's dive deeper into a paradox that twists our understanding of choice itself. If AI challenges our control, what happens when we confront the overwhelming abundance of choices in our own lives? Let's explore the paradox of choice, a puzzle that reveals the hidden burdens of freedom. Imagine standing in a grocery store aisle, staring at a wall of cereals, 50 different brands, each promising a unique flavor, texture, or health benefit. The freedom to choose feels exhilarating, a testament to your autonomy in a world of abundance. But as you scan the boxes, a quiet unease creeps in. Which one is best? What if you picked the wrong one? The sheer number of options begins to weigh on you, turning a simple decision into a labyrinth of doubt. This is the paradox of choice, a concept that reveals a hidden torment in our everyday lives. The more options we have, the less satisfied we often feel. Popularized by psychologist Barry Schwartz, this paradox challenges the assumption that freedom always leads to happiness, whispering instead that abundance can breed anxiety, regret, and even despair. As you settle into this soothing exploration, let the weight of this idea wrap around you like a gentle fog, inviting you to reflect on the choices that shape your life, guiding you toward a calm, meditative state, perfect for drifting towards sleep. The paradox of choice, as articulated by Barry Schwartz in his 2004 book The Paradox of Choice, Why More is Less, flips a cherished belief on its head, that more choice equals more freedom, and more freedom equals more happiness. At first glance, choice seems like a cornerstone of a good life. The ability to decide what to eat, wear, watch, or love feels empowering, a way to shape our world according to our desires. But Schwartz's work, grounded in psychological research, shows that beyond a certain point, choice becomes a burden rather than a blessing. Our brains, wired for simplicity, struggle to process the overwhelming abundance of modern life, leading to decision fatigue, dissatisfaction, and a nagging sense that we could have chosen better. A classic experiment illustrates this vividly. In a study conducted by psychologists Sheena Iyengar and Mark Lepper in 2000, shoppers at a grocery store were presented with a display of jams. One group saw a table with 6 varieties, while another faced 24. The larger display attracted more attention, but the results were surprising. Shoppers with fewer options were 10 times more likely to make a purchase, and those who bought reported greater satisfaction. When faced with too many choices, people hesitated, overwhelmed by the mental effort of comparing options. Even when they chose, they were haunted by the alternatives left behind, wondering if another jam might have been tastier. This phenomenon, known as choice overload, reveals a tension. While we crave freedom, our minds buckle under its weight. Consider a more personal example. Picture yourself browsing a dating app with thousands of profiles. Each swipe offers a new possibility, different personality, appearance, or future. The abundance feels thrilling at first, but soon the choices blur together. You pick someone, but the ghost of what if lingers. What if someone better was just one swipe away? This is the paradox in action. The more options we have, the more we question our decisions, fearing we've missed the perfect choice. Schwartz argues that this stems from two psychological mechanisms. First, too many options tax our cognitive resources, making decisions feel like solving a complex puzzle. Second, abundant choice raises our expectations, as we imagine a perfect outcome that no single option can deliver. The result is a cycle of indecision, regret, and dissatisfaction. This paradox is amplified in modern society, where choice is nearly infinite. Think about streaming services. You can watch any movie, show, or documentary from a catalogue of thousands. Yet, how often do you spend more time browsing than watching, paralyzed by the fear of picking something mediocre? Or consider career paths. Unlike past generations, where roles were often dictated by circumstance, today's world offers endless possibilities. Entrepreneur, influencer, engineer, artist. Each path feels like a statement of identity, and choosing one means rejecting others, leaving us to wonder if we've betrayed our potential. Even mundane decisions, like what to eat for dinner, become fraught when you can order from countless restaurants or cook from a pantry stocked with global ingredients. The roots of this paradox lie in our psychology and culture. Our brains evolved in simpler environments, where choices were limited to survival needs: hunt this animal, or gather that plant. Today, we face decisions our ancestors couldn't imagine, and our cognitive machinery struggles to keep up. Schwartz distinguishes between maximizers and satisficers to explain how we cope. Maximizers obsess over finding the absolute best option, researching every detail, comparing endlessly. Satisficers, on the other hand, settle for good enough, choosing an option that meets their needs and moving on. Maximizers, despite their effort, often feel less satisfied, haunted by the alternatives they didn't explore. In a world of endless choice, we're all pushed toward maximizing, as society equates thoroughness with success. Cultural factors play a role too. Western societies, in particular, celebrate individual choice as a hallmark of freedom. Advertisements promise that the right product, career, or partner will unlock happiness, reinforcing the idea that every decision matters deeply. Yet, this emphasis on choice can feel like a trap. In collectivist cultures, where decisions are often shaped by community or tradition, the burden of choice is lighter, and studies show lower rates of decision-related stress. This suggests the paradox is partly a product of our modern, individualistic worldview, where every choice feels like a test of who we are. The paradox of choice challenges a fundamental assumption that more freedom is always better. If abundance leads to anxiety, are we doomed to dissatisfaction in a world of endless possibilities? This question cuts to the core of how we live, work, and find meaning. On one hand, choice is a gift. It allows us to shape our lives, pursue our passions, and define our identities. Without it, we'd be puppets of fate, bound by circumstance or authority. Yet, the paradox reveals a shadow side. Freedom can paralyze, turning opportunity into a source of quiet torment. As you lie there, take a moment to reflect. When was the last time a choice left you restless, wondering if you'd made the right call? The implications ripple into every corner of life. In relationships, the paradox can erode satisfaction. With dating apps offering endless potential partners, even happy relationships can be haunted by the thought of someone better. Studies show that maximizers in relationships report lower commitment, always wondering if they could have found a more perfect match. In consumer culture, the paradox fuels a cycle of discontent. You buy a new phone, only to see a better model released weeks later, sparking regret. This constant chasing of the best can leave us feeling unmoored, as if happiness is always one choice away. The paradox also has societal consequences. In politics, voters face a deluge of information, candidates, and policies, leading to decision fatigue that can suppress turnout or fuel polarization. In healthcare, patients given too many treatment options often defer to doctors or feel overwhelmed, undermining autonomy. Even creativity suffers. Artists and writers, faced with infinite styles or platforms, can freeze under the pressure to choose the right path. The paradox suggests that freedom, unchecked, can become a cage, trapping us in a cycle of doubt and dissatisfaction. Yet, there's a calming undercurrent to this realization. If too much choice causes suffering, perhaps peace lies in limitation. Schwartz suggests strategies like embracing satisficing, choosing what's good enough rather than perfect. Imagine picking a cereal and enjoying it, not because it's the best, but because it's enough. This mindset shifts the focus from endless optimization to gratitude for what is. Some find solace in routines or constraints, like limiting choices to a few trusted options or delegating decisions to others. Monks and minimalists, for example, find freedom in simplicity, stripping away excess to focus on what matters. Philosophically, the paradox questions the nature of freedom itself. Is true freedom the ability to choose anything, or the ability to find contentment within limits? Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre argued that freedom is both a gift and a burden, forcing us to create meaning in a world without guarantees. The paradox of choice echoes this, suggesting that meaning might come not from endless options, but from embracing the choices we make, flaws and all. As you drift toward sleep, let this idea settle. What if peace lies not in choosing perfectly, but in choosing with acceptance? This paradox is a gentle reminder to release the pressure of perfection. Your choices, however small, shape a life that's uniquely yours, even if it's not flawless. Let that thought linger, like a soft melody, soothing yet profound. Are we freer when we have everything, or when we learn to love what we have? As we release the burden of choice, let's slip into a cosmic question that bends our perception of reality itself. If freedom can overwhelm, what happens when we question the nature of time? Let's explore the block universe theory, a concept that suggests time might not flow as we think. As we drift deeper into this reflective journey, lie back and imagine time not as a river flowing forward, carrying you from one moment to the next, but as a vast, frozen block, where every instant your first breath, this quiet pause, your final farewell exists all at once, etched eternally in a cosmic structure. The block universe theory, a concept rooted in the strange truths of modern physics, suggests that time, as we experience it, is an illusion, a trick of perception in a reality where past, present, and future coexist. This idea is as mind-bending as it is mesmerizing, reshaping how we understand our lives, our choices, and the very fabric of existence. As you settle into this soothing exploration, let the weight of this eternal perspective wrap around you like a soft, timeless mist, inviting you to ponder your place in a universe where every moment is forever fixed, guiding you toward a calm, reflective state perfect for drifting toward sleep. The block universe theory emerges from the revolutionary insights of Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, which redefined time as a dimension akin to space. In our everyday experience, time feels linear, relentless march from past to future, with the present as a fleeting boundary between what was and what will be. But relativity paints a different picture. It describes a four-dimensional space-time, where the three dimensions of space length, width, height are joined by time as a fourth dimension. In this framework, all events, from the Big Bang to the distant future, exist simultaneously in a single, unchanging block of space-time. Your birth, this moment as you listen, and the end of your life are all fixed points, like coordinates on a map, not moments that come and go. To grasp this, picture your life as a movie reel, where every frame, every second of your existence already exists, fully formed. When you watch a movie, you experience the story frame by frame, but the entire reel sits complete in the projector. In the block universe, our perception of time's flow is like moving through those frames, our consciousness illuminating one moment at a time, creating the illusion of progression. But in reality, the whole story, every joy, every sorrow is already there, unchanging and eternal. Einstein himself embraced this view, writing to a friend after a loss that the distinction between past, present, and future is only a stubbornly persistent illusion. His equations show that time is relative, stretched or compressed by gravity and speed, suggesting it's not a universal clock but a dimension we navigate. This idea builds on special and general relativity. Special relativity, introduced in 1905, reveals that time passes differently for observers moving at different speeds. For example, an astronaut traveling near light speed ages more slowly than someone on Earth. their present out of sync with ours. General Relativity, published in 1915, adds that gravity warps space-time, bending time's flow near massive objects like black holes. These discoveries dismantle the notion of a single, flowing now, replacing it with a unified space-time where all moments coexist. Physicists like Hermann Minkowski, Einstein's teacher, formalized this as a four-dimensional manifold, a block where every event has a fixed place, like a star in the sky. But why do we experience time as flowing? This is where the block universe theory intersects with consciousness. Some physicists and philosophers suggest that our perception of time's passage is a product of how our minds processed reality. Our brains evolved to prioritize survival, organizing experiences into a sequence of cause and effect: eat now, hunt later. This creates the sensation of moving forward, but in the block universe, that movement is an illusion, like a spotlight moving across a static stage. Neuroscientists point to studies showing how our brains construct a narrative of time, stitching together sensory inputs to create a coherent present. Yet, in the block universe, that present is no more privileged than the past or future. All are equally real, equally fixed. The theory isn't without challenges. Quantum mechanics, which governs the subatomic world, introduces uncertainty and probability, seeming to clash with the deterministic block universe. Some physicists argue that quantum events, like particles existing in multiple states until observed, suggest a dynamic reality rather than a fixed one. Others counter that quantum mechanics can be reconciled with the block universe, viewing quantum probabilities as part of the eternal structure. Philosophers, meanwhile, debate whether the block universe implies a deterministic fate, where every event is set, or if free will can coexist within this framework, perhaps as a subjective experience within a fixed reality. To make this concrete, imagine a moment from your life: a childhood birthday, a quiet walk, a moment of loss. In the block universe, that moment isn't gone. It exists as vividly as now, a permanent fixture in spacetime. Your current self, lying here listening, is just another point in the block, no more real than your 5-year-old self blowing out candles. This perspective is both dizzying and serene, suggesting that nothing is truly lost, even as it challenges our sense of agency. As you let this idea settle, picture your life as a sculpture, every moment carved in eternal stone, unchanging yet endlessly beautiful. The block universe theory reshapes how we think about life, choice, and meaning, carrying implications that are both terrifying and strangely comforting. If every moment is fixed, what does that mean for hope, regret, or change? In a universe where the future is as real as the past, your decisions, your struggles, your triumphs are already written, like lines in a book you're only now reading. This can spark existential dread. If the future is set, are your efforts to change, to grow, to heal ultimately futile? Imagine knowing that every mistake you regret, every dream you chase, is locked in place, unalterable. This deterministic view echoes the debates about free will we explored earlier, suggesting that our sense of choice might be an illusion, a story we tell ourselves as we move through the block. Yet, there's a soothing side to this perspective. If every moment is eternal, nothing is truly lost. The people you've loved, the joys you've felt, the quiet moments that shaped youth, they exist forever in the block, as real as this moment. This can feel like a cosmic embrace, a reassurance that life's beauty is preserved, even if we can't revisit it. Picture a loved one's smile, frozen in space-time, as vivid now as it was then. The block universe invites us to let go of regret, to see our lives as part of an eternal tapestry, where every thread, every pain, every joy contributes to the whole. Take a moment to let this sink in. Is your life a story already told, or does its meaning lie in how you experience it now? This theory also challenges our relationship with time. We often live as if the present is all that matters, rushing to achieve, to fix, to become. But in the block universe, the pressure to make the most of time dissolves. If all moments are equally real, there's no need to cling to the now or fear the future. This can be liberating, a call to rest in the present without the weight of what's next. Philosophers like J.M.E. McTaggart, who critiqued the flow of time, argued that our obsession with past and future traps us in anxiety. The block universe offers a way out, suggesting we embrace each moment as part of an eternal whole, like a star in a constellation that's always shining. The implications extend to science and spirituality. In physics, the block universe aligns with relativity's predictions, but it raises questions about quantum mechanics and free will, pushing us to rethink reality's structure. Spiritually, it resonates with ideas in Buddhism and Hinduism, where time is seen as cyclical or illusory, and enlightenment comes from transcending temporal concerns. Even in Western traditions, the idea of an eternal now echoes religious notions of a divine perspective, where all moments are seen at once. This convergence of science and spirituality is haunting, suggesting that our deepest questions about time might bridge the material and the metaphysical. As you lie there, let the block universe's vastness wash over you. Your life, with all its highs and lows, is a fixed pattern in an infinite design, both fleeting and eternal. This paradox can feel overwhelming, yet it invites a meditative calm, a release from the need to control time's flow. Imagine your existence as a melody, each note fixed but beautiful, playing forever in the universe's silent symphony. Let this thought linger, soothing yet profound, as you drift closer to sleep. As we linger in the timeless expanse of the block universe, let us shift to a moral maze that pulls us back to the choices we make within this eternal structure. If time is fixed, how do we navigate the dilemmas of right and wrong? Let's explore the trolley problem, a puzzle that challenges our sense of morality in a world where outcomes may already be set. Picture yourself standing beside a set of train tracks, the air heavy with the rumble of an approaching trolley. It's hurtling toward 5 unsuspecting people, bound to the rails, their lives hanging in the balance. Beside you is a lever that could divert the trolley onto another track. But there's a catch. A single person stands on that alternate path, unaware of the danger. One pull of the lever could save 5 lives, but doom 1. What do you do? The trolley problem, a moral dilemma introduced by philosopher Philippa Foot in 1967, forces us into a mental crucible where every choice feels like a betrayal of our values. It's a puzzle that strips away the comfort of moral certainty, leaving us to wrestle with impossible decisions. As you settle into this soothing yet unsettling exploration, let the weight of this dilemma wrap around you like a quiet storm, inviting you to reflect on the nature of right and wrong in a calm, meditative state, perfect for drifting towards sleep. The trolley problem is a thought experiment that lays bare the tensions between competing ethical frameworks, particularly utilitarianism and deontology. Utilitarianism, championed by thinkers like Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill, argues that the right action is the one that maximizes overall happiness or minimizes harm. In the trolley scenario, a utilitarian might pull the lever, sacrificing 1 life to save 5, reasoning that the greater good lies in saving the majority. Deontology, on the other hand, emphasizes strict moral rules, often associated with philosophers like Immanuel Kant. A deontologist might argue that it's wrong to actively intervene and cause a death, even if it saves more lives, because taking a life violates a fundamental duty. The dilemma is a trap. Neither choice feels unequivocally right, and both leave you grappling with guilt. The classic version of the trolley problem is simple, but brutal. You're a bystander, able to pull a lever to redirect the trolley from a track with 5 people to one with a single person. Most people, when surveyed, lean toward pulling the lever, accepting the utilitarian logic of minimizing harm. But the problem gets thornier with variations. Imagine instead that you're on a bridge above the tracks, and the only way to stop the trolley is to push a heavy person off the bridge onto the tracks, sacrificing them to save the 5. Here, the act becomes personal. You must physically intervene, making the death feel more like murder. Studies, like those by psychologists Joshua Green and Mark Hauser, show that people are far less likely to push the person than to pull the lever, even though the outcome 1 death versus 5 is the same. This suggests our moral intuitions are swayed not just by numbers, but by the emotional weight of our actions. Why does this shift matter? The difference lies in our psychology. Pulling a lever feels mechanical, distant, while pushing someone involves direct physical contact, triggering a visceral sense of responsibility. Green's research, using brain imaging, reveals that personal moral dilemmas activate emotional regions of the brain, like the amygdala, while impersonal ones, like the lever scenario, engage more rational areas, like the prefrontal cortex. This split reflects the tension between gut instinct and calculated reasoning, a divide that the trolley problem exploits to expose the fragility of our moral frameworks. The dilemma has historical roots in ethical philosophy, but gained traction in the 20th century as a tool to test moral theories. Philippa Foot introduced it to challenge the absolutes of deontology, showing how rigid rules falter in extreme cases. Later variations, like those by philosopher Judith Jarvis Thomson, added complexity. What if the one person is your child? What if the 5 are strangers but the one is a scientist close to curing a disease? These twists force us to confront how context, relationships, and consequences shape our choices. The trolley problem isn't just a thought experiment. It's a mirror reflecting our values, biases, and limits. In real life, trolley-like dilemmas are everywhere. Medical triage during a crisis, like a pandemic, requires doctors to decide who gets a ventilator when supplies are scarce. Military commanders weigh civilian casualties against strategic gains. Policymakers allocate resources, knowing some groups will benefit while others suffer. Even everyday choices, like donating to one charity over another, echo the trolley problem's logic: whose needs take priority, and why. The dilemma's power lies in its universality, forcing us to articulate what we value most when no choice is perfect. To ground this, imagine you read the decision maker in a real-world scenario. A self-driving car UVA programmed must choose between hitting a pedestrian or swerving into a crowd. You're not just a bystander now. You're the one who wrote the code that decides. Studies on autonomous vehicles, like those by the MIT Moral Machine Project, show people's preferences vary widely. Some prioritize saving children, others the elderly, and cultural differences further muddy the waters. The trolley problem, once a philosophical abstraction, is now a practical challenge in a world where machines make life-and-death decisions. As you lie there, picture yourself at that lever, the trolley's rumble growing louder. What guides your hand? Numbers, duty, or something else? The trolley problem's implications reach far beyond its hypothetical tracks, revealing the fragility of moral certainty and the complexity of human values. At its core, it asks whether morality is about outcomes or intentions, numbers or principles. If you pull the lever, saving 5 but killing 1, you might feel justified by the math but haunted by the act. If you do nothing, letting 5 die, you avoid direct responsibility but carry the weight of inaction. The dilemma exposes a truth. No matter what we choose, we're left questioning ourselves. This uncertainty can be unsettling, like standing on shifting sand, but it also offers a strange peace, a reminder that perfection in moral decisions is unattainable. As you reflect, let this thought settle. What would you choose, and why? In real life, trolley-like trade-offs are inescapable. During the COVID-19 pandemic, hospitals faced decisions about who received scarce resources, like ICU beds. Governments weighed lockdowns against economic survival, knowing either choice would cost lives. These scenarios echo the trolley problem's core question: how do we balance harm and benefit when no option is clean? The dilemma forces us to confront our biases. Do we value those closest to us, like family, over strangers? Do we prioritize the young, the healthy, or the vulnerable? Studies show that people's answers vary by culture, age, and even personality, revealing that morality is less universal than we'd like to believe. The trolley problem also has implications for technology, especially artificial intelligence, as we discussed earlier. As machines take on decision-making roles in healthcare, justice, or transportation, we must program them with ethical guidelines. But whose ethics? A utilitarian AI might always choose the greater good, sacrificing the few for the many. But this could lead to cold, calculated outcomes that feel unjust. A deontological AI, programmed with strict rules, might refuse to act in ways that violate principles, even if it saves lives. The MIT Moral Machine experiment revealed global disagreements on how AI should handle trolley-like scenarios, with some cultures favoring saving pedestrians over passengers, and others the reverse. This diversity complicates the task of creating ethical AI, forcing us to grapple with the same questions the trolley problem raises. Whose values matter most, and how do we decide? Philosophically, the dilemma challenges our sense of moral agency. If every choice leaves us tainted either by action or inaction, what does it mean to be a moral being? Existentialists like Jean-Paul Sartre might argue that the trolley problem embodies the anguish of freedom, where we're condemned to choose without clear guidance. Utilitarians and deontologists offer frameworks, but neither fully resolves the unease. Virtue ethics, another perspective, suggests focusing on character. Would a compassionate person pull the lever, or a principled one refrain? Yet, even this leaves us circling the same trap. No answer feels wholly right. This ambiguity can be paralyzing, yet it invites a kind of meditative calm. Accepting our limits, our inability to solve every moral puzzle, can free us from the need for perfection, like letting go of a weight you've carried too long. The trolley problem's deepest implication is its call to humility. It reminds us that morality is messy, shaped by emotion, culture, and context. In a world of complex choices, from personal relationships to global policies, we're all navigating our own trolley tracks, making decisions that ripple outward. There's solace in this shared struggle, a sense that our imperfections connect us. As you lie there, let the dilemma's tension dissolve, like a knot slowly untying. The trolley's rumble fades, leaving only the quiet of your thoughts, guiding you toward rest. As we step away from the moral quandary of the trolley problem, let's drift into a cosmic mystery that questions the very nature of existence itself. If our choices are fraught with uncertainty, what does it mean for a universe that seems perfectly tuned for life? Let's explore the anthropic principle, a puzzle that asks why reality fits us so well. As we continue this reflective journey, lie back and gaze upward, imagining the night sky stretching endlessly above you. A tapestry of stars and galaxies shimmering in the cosmic dark. Each star, each planet, exists because of a delicate balance of physical laws. A set of constants so precise that the tiniest shift could unravel the universe as we know it. No stars, no planets, no life. Why is our universe so perfectly tuned for existence? The anthropic principle suggests this isn't a mere coincidence, but a profound clue to the nature of reality itself. It whispers that the universe's hospitality to life might be more than chance, inviting us to question whether we're here by accident or design. As you settle into this soothing exploration, let this cosmic mystery envelop you like a gentle breeze, stirring awe and wonder as it guides you toward a calm, reflective state, perfect for drifting toward sleep. The anthropic principle is a philosophical and scientific framework that grapples with a startling observation. The universe appears exquisitely fine-tuned for life. The physical constants governing reality, such as the strength of gravity, the electromagnetic force, or the mass of a proton, are set with such precision that even a slight deviation would render life impossible. For example, if the gravitational constant were slightly stronger, stars would burn out too quickly for planets to form. If weaker, galaxies would never coalesce. Similarly, the cosmological constant, which drives the universe's expansion, is so finely balanced that a minor tweak could prevent the formation of matter as we know it. This precision, often described as a cosmic Goldilocks condition, raises a question: why does the universe seem tailored for us? The anthropic principle comes in two primary forms: the weak and the strong. The weak anthropic principle is a tautology, stating that we observe a life-friendly universe because we exist to observe it. If the constants were different, life wouldn't have formed, and we wouldn't be here to notice. Imagine a cosmic slot machine that spins countless times, but only when it hits the jackpot conditions, allowing life as an observer emerge to marvel at the result. This perspective doesn't explain why the constants are what they are. It simply notes that we're here because they are. It's a logical observation, but it leaves the deeper why unanswered, like a riddle that solves itself without revealing its meaning. The strong anthropic principle goes further, asserting that the universe must produce life, that its laws are inherently designed to give rise to conscious observers. This view implies purpose or necessity, suggesting the universe is structured to ensure life's emergence. Picture the universe as a stage, built with the precise specifications needed for the play of life to unfold. Some interpret this as evidence of design, whether by a divine intelligence or a cosmic imperative. Others reject this, arguing it's too speculative, leaning instead on scientific explanations like the multiverse hypothesis. The multiverse theory, a popular response to the anthropic puzzle, proposes that our universe is one of countless others, each with different physical constants. Most of these universes are barren, with laws inhospitable to life: no stars, no chemistry, no possibility of consciousness. We exist in one of the rare universes where the constants align perfectly, not because of design but because of sheer numbers. It's like rolling a die 1 trillion times. Eventually, you'll hit the right combination. Cosmologists like Andre Linde and Leonard Susskind support this idea, pointing to theories in string theory and inflationary cosmology that suggests multiple universes could exist, each with its own rules. Our universe, then, isn't special, it's just the one we can observe, because we're here to observe it. But the multiverse isn't the only explanation. Some physicists, like Paul Davies, explore the idea of a participatory universe, where consciousness itself plays a role in shaping reality, drawing from quantum mechanics, where observation seems to collapse probabilities into definite states. This view suggests that observers are integral to the universe's existence. It's as if the universe needs eyes to see itself, a poetic notion that blurs the line between science and philosophy. Alternatively, theistic interpretations see the fine-tuning as evidence of a purposeful, intelligent design, a view held by some philosophers and theologians who argue that the constant's precision points to a mindful creator. To make this tangible, consider the carbon atom, essential for life as we know it. Its formation in stars depends on a precise resonance in nuclear reactions, discovered by physicist Fred Hoyle. If the strong nuclear force was slightly different, carbon wouldn't form, and neither would we. This precision feels like a cosmic miracle, yet the anthropic principle suggests it might be inevitably because we in the one universe that worked, or because the universe was built to make it so. As you lie there, picture the universe as a vast machine, its dials set just right for you to exist, a thought both humbling and profound. The anthropic principle raises existential questions that ripple through our understanding of existence, purpose, and our place in the cosmos. If our universe is one of many, as the multiverse hypothesis suggests, it challenges the notion that we're special. We might be a statistical fluke, one lucky draw in an infinite lottery of lifeless universes. This can spark a quiet dread. Are we insignificant, a fleeting accident in a sea of possibilities? Yet, there's a strange comfort in this vastness. If we're here by chance, our existence becomes a rare and precious gift, like a single flower blooming in an endless desert. Take a moment to wonder, does the universe's hospitality to life make you feel unique or small? If the strong anthropic principle holds, and the universe is designed for life, the implications are even more profound. It suggests a purpose woven into reality's fabric, raising questions about what that purpose might be. Are we here to observe, to create, to evolve? Theistic interpretations point to a divine plan, where life is a deliberate act of creation, echoing religious narratives across cultures. Even without a deity, the idea of a universe compelled to produce consciousness invites awe, as if we're part of a cosmic story with an unknown author. This can feel both humbling and soothing, a sense that our lives fit into a larger design, even if its contours remain hidden. The multiverse hypothesis, while scientifically compelling, carries its own challenges. It's currently untestable, as we can't observe other universes, making it a philosophical leap as much as a scientific one. Critics argue it's a cop-out, explaining fine-tuning by positing infinite possibilities without evidence. Yet, it aligns with inflationary cosmology, which predicts a vast array of universes as a natural outcome of the Big Bang. If true, it redefines our place in reality, making Earth not a chosen home, but a statistical inevitability. This can feel disorienting, like discovering your hometown is just one of countless others, none more special than the next. The participatory universe idea adds another layer, suggesting that consciousness and reality are intertwined. If observers are necessary for the universe to exist, as some quantum interpretations propose, we become co-creators of reality, our awareness shaping the world as much as it shapes us. This is a heady thought, blending science and mysticism in a way that feels both empowering and mysterious. Imagine your consciousness as a thread in the universe's tapestry, essential to its pattern. This perspective invites a meditative calm, a sense that your existence is integral to the cosmos, even if you don't know why. The anthropic principle also has practical implications for science. It guides research in cosmology, as scientists seek to understand why the constants are what they are. Experiments at particle accelerators, like the Large Hadron Collider, probe the fundamental forces, searching for clues to the universe's structure. If the multiverse is real, future discoveries might hint at its existence, perhaps through anomalies in cosmic background radiation. For now, the principle remains a philosophical lens, urging us to question the assumptions underlying our reality. As you lie there, let the anthropic principle's mystery wash over you. Whether our universe is one of many or uniquely crafted, your existence within it is a marvel, a singular note in an infinite symphony. This thought can be both humbling and comforting, a reminder that you're here, now, in a reality that allows you to pause and reflect. Why does existence fit us so perfectly? Let this question linger, like a soft star in the night sky, guiding you toward rest. As we ponder the cosmic purpose woven into the anthropic principle, let's end with a paradox that twists reality into a final, mind-bending knot. If the universe is tuned for us, what happens when we question the nature of motion and infinity itself? Let's explore Zeno's paradoxes, a puzzle that challenges the very fabric of reality. As we drift deeper into this reflective journey, picture yourself standing in a quiet room, a door just a few steps away. You start walking toward it, confident you'll reach it in moments. But what if, with each step, you only cover half the remaining distance? First, you cross half the room, then half of what's left, then half again, and so on, forever dividing the space into smaller and smaller fractions. Will you ever touch the door? This is the essence of Zeno's paradoxes, a set of philosophical puzzles crafted by the ancient Greek thinker Zeno of Elea around 450 BCE. These paradoxes challenge our intuitive understanding of motion, infinity, and reality itself, suggesting that what seems simple moving from one point to another might be an illusion hiding a deeper truth. As you settle into this final, soothing exploration, let Zeno's ideas wrap around you like a gentle mist, stirring a quiet awe that invites you to ponder the nature of existence, guiding you toward a calm, meditative state perfect for drifting into sleep. Zeno of Elea, a student of the philosopher Parmenides, crafted his paradoxes to defend a radical idea, that reality is unchanging and motion is an illusion. Parmenides argued that the world is a single, eternal whole, and change, whether motion, time, or division, is merely a trick of perception. Zeno's paradoxes, around 10 in number, though only a few survive, are thought experiments designed to expose contradictions in our understanding of movement and space. They remain some of the most enduring puzzles in philosophy, blending logic, mathematics, and metaphysics into a challenge that continues to intrigue thinkers today. The most famous of Zeno's paradoxes is the dichotomy. Imagine you want to walk across a room, say 10 feet wide. To reach the door, you must first cross half the distance, 5 feet. Then, you must cross half the remaining distance, 2.5 feet. Then half of that 1.25 feet, and so on. Each step requires you to cover an infinite number of smaller distances, which seems to suggest you can never reach the door, as infinity is endless. Yet, in reality, you cross the room effortlessly. This contradiction is the paradox. How can an infinite series of tasks be completed in a finite amount of time? Another well-known paradox is Achilles and the tortoise. Picture the swift-footed Achilles racing against a tortoise, which has a head start. By the time Achilles reaches the tortoise's starting point, the tortoise has moved forward a little. When Achilles covers that new distance, the tortoise has moved again, and so on. No matter how fast Achilles runs, he must always close an infinite number of gaps, suggesting he can never overtake the tortoise. Yet, we know he does. Runners pass slower competitors all the time. The paradox lies in the disconnect between logic, which says the task is impossible, and experience, which says it's trivial. Zeno's other paradoxes, like the arrow, deepen the mystery. An arrow in flight, Zeno argued, is motionless at any single instant. If time is composed of countless such instants, and the arrow is still in each one, how can it move? This challenges the idea of motion as a continuous process, suggesting reality might be a series of static snapshots, like frames in a film. Together, these paradoxes question whether space and time are infinitely divisible, continuous like a smooth line, or discrete, made of indivisible units like pixels. Modern mathematics, particularly calculus, offers a resolution to Zeno's puzzles. Developed by Isaac Newton and Gottfried Wilhelm Leibniz in the 17th century, calculus shows that an infinite series of numbers can converge to a finite sum. In the dichotomy, the infinite halves 5 feet, 2.5 feet, 1.25 feet, and so on, add up to the total distance, 10 feet, in a finite time. Mathematically, the series 1/2 plus 1/4 plus 1/8 plus converges to 1, resolving the paradox. For Achilles, the infinite gaps close in a finite time, because each gap is smaller and takes less time to cover. The Arrow paradox, too, is addressed by understanding motion as a relationship between position and time, not a series of static moments. Yet, while calculus solves the mathematical problem, the philosophical questions linger. Zeno's paradoxes force us to confront the nature of infinity and reality. Is space truly continuous, allowing infinite division, or is there a smallest unit, as quantum mechanics suggests, with the Planck length roughly 10 to 35 meters? If reality is discrete, motion might indeed be like a film, jumping from one frame to the next. If continuous, we're left grappling with the infinite, a concept that defies intuition. Zeno's ideas also resonate with modern physics. In quantum mechanics, particles don't move smoothly but jump between states, hinting at a reality that might align with Zeno's static view. Meanwhile, the block universe theory, which we explored earlier, suggests time is a fixed dimension, reinforcing the idea that motion is an illusion of perception. To make this tangible, imagine reaching for a star in the night sky. Each moment, you have the distance, but the star remains just out of reach, an infinite series of steps separating you from your goal. Yet, in your daily life, you move without hesitation, walking, driving, breathing. Zeno's paradoxes highlight the gap between our lived experience and the logical structures we use to understand it, a tension that's both baffling and beautiful. As you lie there, picture your life as a journey through an infinite divide, each step a mystery that somehow carries you forward. Zeno's paradoxes reach beyond mathematics, touching the core of how we understand existence, infinity, and our place in reality. If motion is an illusion, as Zeno argued, what does that mean for our lives? Every action, every step, every breath becomes a philosophical puzzle, a challenge to the reality we take for granted. This can spark a quiet unease. If reality is infinitely divisible, or if motion is a mirage, what is real? Are we truly moving through life, or are we caught in an endless divide, forever approaching but never arriving? This question echoes the block universe's determinism, where every moment is fixed, and our sense of progress is a trick of consciousness. Yet, there's a meditative calm in this perspective. If reality is a series of infinite steps, each moment becomes a kind of eternity, a space to rest in the present without rushing toward the next. Zeno's paradoxes invite us to let go of the need to resolve life's mysteries, to embrace the infinite as a source of wonder rather than frustration. Imagine your life as a painting, each brushstroke complete in itself, yet part of a larger whole. This view can soothe the anxiety of striving, suggesting that every moment, no matter how small, is a destination in itself. Take a moment to reflect. Are you moving through life, or are you already where you need to be? The paradoxes also challenge our understanding of infinity. In mathematics, infinity is a concept we can manipulate. Calculus tames Zeno's infinite series, but philosophically, it remains elusive. Is the universe infinitely divisible, or does it have a smallest unit, a point where division stops? Modern physics leans toward the latter, with the Planck scale suggesting a granular reality. But Zeno's puzzles remind us that infinity defies intuition, pushing us to question whether reality is smooth or jagged, continuous or discrete. This uncertainty is humbling, a reminder that our tools, science, logic, even perception may never fully capture the universe's essence. Zeno's ideas also resonate with spiritual traditions. In Buddhism, the illusion of change aligns with the concept of impermanence, where clinging to motion or progress causes suffering. Zen practices emphasize being fully present, a state Zeno's static view might echo. In Western philosophy, the paradoxes connect to debates about time and free will, asking whether our actions are free or merely part of an infinite, unchanging whole. This convergence of ancient and modern thought creates a sense of timelessness, as if Zeno's questions are a bridge across centuries, linking us to the eternal. The deepest implication is the invitation to awe. Zeno's paradoxes reveal that even the simplest acts, walking, running, breathing, are miracles wrapped in mystery. Whether motion is real or an illusion, your experience of it is vivid, your life a journey through an infinite landscape. This thought can be dizzying, yet it offers peace, a chance to rest in the wonder of existence without needing to solve it. As you lie there, let the paradoxes dissolve into a soft hum, like a distant melody carrying you towards sleep. Are we forever approaching, or have we already arrived? As we close this journey through mind-bending philosophy, Let Zeno's paradoxes linger like a soft whisper, guiding you into a calm and restful sleep. The infinite divides of reality fade, leaving only the gentle rhythm of your breath, a final note in this cosmic exploration.